And Boris Johnson can be part of that? Maybe make him a peer, put him in a House of Lords with you?
I mean, why not?
Why not?
The man responsible for negotiating the most awful Brexit deal, which we ended up with, was on Christopher Hope's podcast this week on GB News. It defies belief that they can keep a straight face when they say what they say. We know that David Frost was a fervent supporter of our membership with the European Union. Particularly, he acknowledged the benefits of the single market. However, now that he's drunk from the cup, the Brexit cup, he is one of the most extreme Brexit supporters and promotes leaving the ECHR and lives in a deranged world. However, his comments about Liz Truss are, in fact, the most comical I think I've heard in some time.
Can I ask you a quick question, just briefly? Why did the Tories lose the election? An easy one.
Gosh, briefly. Lots of things went wrong, obviously. The reasons are quite deep. I think a mix of things, really. Not delivering the benefits of Brexit, most obviously immigration, looking a bit embarrassed by Brexit, not delivering the change that people wanted. I think the leadership issue, the kind of campaigning against Liz Truss that went on, I don't think that helped.
You were pro-Trussite, weren't you?
I was. Obviously, she didn't get everything right, but I think what people heard from the campaigning against Truss was your party made a terrible mistake and we're all paying for it. And I think it didn't really help. We drifted left. The party's offer became unclear. All those things went together. So I think by the time the election was called, we were bound to lose.
Benefits of Brexit. Don't make me laugh. There are no benefits of Brexit. Brexit is and always was going to be a deeply damaging reality. And what the people that have been pushing Brexit do and continue to do is to pretend that there's something just over the horizon that we can't quite reach because it's always someone else's fault. The Remainers stopped us from getting it, or it wasn't the right leader, or all of these things. Brexit cannot unlock benefits because Brexit is a deeply damaging reality. Brexit is like deciding to set your house on fire and then saying, oh, well, someone didn't unlock the benefits of that house fire.
Brexit, you mentioned Brexit there. I mean, for me, Brexit is like the weather. It's a condition. You can't blame Brexit for high immigration or Brexit for anything. Brexit is the condition which the British people have bequeathed to politicians, and it's how you use that power, which is the point.
Totally. Before we left, we didn't have power to change a lot of things, and we had to live with that, and some things worked and some things didn't. Now we've got a different mix. We are, with the exception of Northern Ireland, sadly, in charge of our own affairs. It's up to us to try and deliver on that. And the failure has come from governments, civil servants, machinery of government that has simply not delivered
done it.
What people wanted.
Well, in fact, said we'll cut immigration at two elections. I think, certainly 17 and 19 we'll cut immigration. That never happened. And the point now is you can't hide behind Brussels and say, well, it's the EU, freedom of movement, sorry, mate. It's all down on this government, isn't it? And essentially it failed to do what it said it would do, and a new lot have come in.
In essence, the Vote Leave people lied to the country and sold Brexit on false promises. Those promises have not been delivered, obviously, because they were false. And now they're trying to make out that it's the people's fault that they've delivered Brexit like the weather, and that politicians just have to put up with it despite the hurricanes, persistent hurricanes, that it assures. They're saying that, no, Vote Leave sold Brexit on a false premise. They lied about what it was and what it would do. And now the Brexit cabal are trying to say that the politicians have to deal with Brexit despite the hurricanes that it's assuring, because the people are to blame for ensuring the hurricanes. This is nonsense. Protecting Brexit at all costs is just a way of keeping Brexit supporters on side.
Symbolic. That's why taxation is symbolic of getting the economy right and growing and all the things you need to do that. And immigration is symbolic of, do we actually run this country, or can anybody just wander in?
Yeah, is there control over not or not?
Yeah.
Well, is about to change. From 2025, British travellers will need an ETIAS visa waiver to visit Europe, costing €7 and requiring an online application and extra checks.
As a mother with 2 small children, travelling is always a bit of a pain at the best of times, and it's disappointing to have another additional hurdle.
Flora and Alexander are on a staycation at home in Britain. They're frustrated but not surprised by the new arrangement.
Well, I was a staunch Remainer, so I guess it's just another slightly disappointing hurdle that we're all having to face in our ability just to feel like we can be freely part of Europe. But again, it's a reality of what happened with the vote back in 2016, I suppose.
As the dust continues to settle, many who were against Brexit are seeing the changes they anticipated. From 2025, British travellers will need a visa, known as an ETIAS, to visit most countries in the EU Schengen area. The new system requires an online application, a fee, and biometric checks at borders. So will this complicate travel, and could it impact tourism in Europe?
As Brits, we have an absolute love affair with our European neighbouring countries.
Rob Staines, an independent travel expert, predicts the €7 fee is unlikely to put off British tourists.
Unfortunately, this is a reality of post-Brexit travel, and we asked to be deemed a third country when we left the European Union, and this is extra red tape and extra layers of complexity when it comes to travel. But I think if we look in the grand scheme of things, I think it's completely acceptable and understandable that the EU wants to strengthen their borders, and unfortunately that comes at a cost.
Initially, there'll be a grace period of at least 6 months, during which the ETIAS requirement won't be enforced strictly. This allows travellers time to adjust to the new rules. Luke Hanrahan, Euronews, London.